Sagoli Swakwe, greetings and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about warrior military societies in comparison. Western European societies are proud of how tough their military societies were, particularly the Spartans. If anybody's seen the movie 300, you can see how they were portrayed as very strong, very tough, very brave, courageous, and fighting to the death. The Spartan society existed between 1000 BC and 192 BC in Sparta, Greece. Boys at age 7 left home for military training. All men served in the military from age 20 to 60 years old. They were known for their phalanx shield, which was made of bronze, their 9-foot dory bronze spears, their short swords, and their bronze helmets and crimson cloaks. 1194 BC, the Trojan War took place, in which the Spartans participated and eventually defeated them with the Trojan horse. 685 BC, the Messenian War took place, which ended up in a Spartan victory. 480 BC, the Persian War, which portrayed in the movie 300, led by Xerxes, and showed the Battle of Thermopylae, in which 300 Spartans were killed. 431 BC, the Peloponnesian War, another Spartan victory. 371 BC, the Leictra War, which ended up in a Thebes victory. 195 BC, Laconian War, in which the Romans won. 192 BC, the Spartans were incorporated by the Achaean League. So this was kind of a short summary of their history. I wanted to talk about a warrior society here in North America, Turtle Island, in what is now upstate New York, in which the tribal nation I belong to, the Oneidas, existed. Around 1000 AD, they formed and incorporated into a confederacy of 5 nations, which included the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Seneca, and Cayuga. They were surrounded by enemies on all sides of tribes that spoke other languages of the Algonquin stock. But in this society, boys became men at puberty, in which they fasted for spiritual protection to go to war. In this society, all men served from age 16 to age 60 or older, in which they provided protection to their communities and villages. At European contact, they were armed with a flintlock, a tomahawk, and a steel knife. They also had wooden bows and arrows, war clubs made of ironwood, and their dress was a scalp lock, in which they painted their bodies in red ochre powder and in their face. In 1615, they were attacked by the French governor led by Chateauneuf Champagne. In 1624, they fought in a war against the Mohican tribe, an Algonquin tribe, and had an ultimate victory in which they controlled the trade with the Dutch. 1630, they fought a war against the Montaigne and came out victorious. 1640s, they fought against the Algonquin in the Ottawa River Valley and came out victorious and drove them out of the valley. 1649, they defeated the Huron Nation. 1676, they defeated the Susquehannock Nation, which was located in Pennsylvania, modern day. By 1701, they formed a great peace with the French and their allies, but began a war in 1701 against the Catawba tribe of South Carolina, which they fought for over 50 years. In 1777, they allied with the Americans and fought against the British and their allies, and ultimately came out victorious. English and French colonists viewed the Iroquois Confederacy as the Romans of the New World due to their sophisticated political structure, which was a union of nations with a central council with elements influencing the American and Canadian constitutions and governments. Their political alliances with the Dutch and British, and later Americans, and their peace with the French, caused also by the military victories over vast territories. The Europeans called the Oneida villages castles since they were located on hilltops surrounded by high palisade wooden walls with a moat or water source and galleries or raised platforms. They acted as a power broker over 17th and 18th century lands in eastern North America. They were a powerful warrior society on Turtle Island. From 1649 to 1701, they were a war with 50 different tribes, over 24 modern U.S. states and 2 Canadian provinces. Their total fighting force was only 1,500 total warriors of the Iroquois Confederacy, 5 nations, and only 100 to 200 Oneida total warriors. But they ultimately took over 12,000 to 15,000 prisoners of war, and over 20,000 tribal members around them became refugees. And they controlled lands in New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. So this is just a comparison, even though this would not be as highly honored as European societies. It just shows how Native American societies function in the same way as military societies. Since they were forced to, every able-bodied man was forced to be a protector, provider, and keeper of the peace. Please like, subscribe, comment. See you next time. Yamako Onagiwa.